Welcome to the most watched YouTube channel in history. Welcome to my TV, and today is the third chapter of Saraya-Jade Boots. My apologies, guys, cause my stomach, well, I wasn't feeling so well, but I'm going to do this as hard as I can, and I'm going to read as quick as possible. Bear with me, guys, and man, I don't know what I ate, but I'm going to keep a promise to you. I'm going to keep a promise to everyone who's watching right now that this week, actually tomorrow, it's the end of the obese. So I'm going to do what needs to be done, but first I got to do this. And I'm on to chapter 3, and let's see. Raised by the wolves. So here we go. Alright, so we got the first two chapters. Now we're up to chapter 3. If you guys just got here, if you're new to us, go back to the first two chapters, read up, listen to a part, and then come back here so you can watch this. And the people who is watching this after the first two chapters can see this. So guys, don't get yourself spoiled right there. Wait after you finish first two. I should say. Are you ready? Let's read this joint. Chapter 3, Gypsy. Oh, wait a minute. Am I forgot something? I don't have a microphone, but that's okay. I hope you guys can hear me. Alright, here we go. I was no more than an infant when the woman approached my mom, as she pushed me in a pram over the cobblestone streets of Norwich. I was too young to remember, but the story was told and retold to me throughout my life. The woman gestured for Mom to pause on her walk so she could take a good look at me. Let's see that wee bow you have there. The woman was what we would call a gypsy, but some people think that is an outdated or offensive term. Many think of gypsies as Romani, but there are also migrant gypsy type people for Ireland. Like in my family, the correct term, I've been told, is Irish traveler because it is traditionally nomadic culture, but it's never bothered us. The woman was tiny and wore a whole full-length skirt with a blouse, a shawl draped over her shoulders, and a headscarf covering her hair. After Mom stopped and chatted, the old woman peered into my pram. When she saw my face, her expression changed from one of the mild interest, surprise, bordering on astonishment. "Oh my," she said, "this one is special. There's something about her." She studied me longer, then stood and addressed my mom. "This girl is going to be something special. She's going to live in America one day. She's going to wear a uniform of some sort, and her name is going to be Keep Up in Lights." It was quite the wild prophecy. Everyone told mothers of newborns their kids were special, didn't they? And sure, at that time, in the late 90s, everyone was dying to move to the States. That part was the most ordinary prediction one could make. Man, I wish I could go to UK, Paris, Tokyo. It's my favorite place I want to go. That's my dream. Some believe Irish travelers have psychic abilities, though. Dad, despite being a descendant of Irish travelers himself, was a skeptic. He does believe in Jesus and God, but draws the line at ghosts and paranormal phenomena. But Mom has always been a bit mystical. She loved tarot cards and everything of a spiritual or supernatural nature. Ooh. She used to take me to spiritual churches and ghost hunting at places like abandoned asylums. I love it. Over the years, Mom went into that same lady over and over and at random places and times, on every occasion, whether I was present or not. The lady repeated her prediction and asked if it had come to pass yet. During my teen years, Daniel was always bugging me to avoid drugs and for God's sake, don't get pregnant. I'm not sure he believed the woman, but he had it in his head that I was going to do something valuable someday. As long as I didn't fuck it up, maybe I'll be a vet, which is what I initially wanted, and that was fine with him. And though we lived in a smaller house under pretty difficult conditions, he believed I was going to be acceptable somehow, someday. Exceptional. He keep reminding me it was up to me to make sure I didn't become a bum. My parents were soulmates. From the minute they found each other, they met at what's called a holiday camp in the UK, like a trailer park, but with really nice trailers for families to come and have a getaway. People call Blue Coats worked there like a cruise director, setting up entertainment and making sure everyone was having fun, encouraging folks to stay within the site boundaries. The Blue Coats arranged shows and made sure all was well in the restaurant. Being at the holiday camp was basically like being at the resort. But you stayed in pretty nice trailers instead of villas or posh hotel. Growing up, Dad has been a total pain in the ass and had done a lot of drugs. He has a bunch of tattoos. He got when tripping on acid one time, all of them ink on that one occasion. Before he met my mom, his nickname had been Paddy the Bat. Paddy, because his first name was Patrick and he was Irish. And the bat, for his weapon of choice, watch out. If he came at you with a baseball bat, he could be vicious with that thing. Dad was a football hooligan and had very strong ties to British gangsters, like my godfather, Mickey. Dad had gone to jail as a youngster man because everything about his life was violent. He used violence to get money, and it was his go-to coping device. Whenever he was mad, that's how he solved everything. His family was made up of really proud people who fought stuff out. If you had a problem with someone, you fought it out, and everything was settled after that. Though he could get violent at the tip of the hat of a hat, he was also fiercely loyal. He never lost it with us, for example. But if anyone was to get mad at us, he'd blow a fucking gasket. Dad has gotten out of jail before he met my mom and had been working as a bouncer in the 80s. He was a scary looking dude, given his size, and people tend to give him a wide berth. It was working as a bouncer that Dad met Uncle Jimmy, who is really not a blood relation, but one of my dad's best mates. You ever wrestle? Jimmy asked him after watching him pitch out a couple of rowdy blokes from the pub, tossing two grown men as easily as they seen sacks of potatoes. I bet you'd be good at that. That's when the family's business started. Under Uncle Jimmy's direction, Dad learned the moves, and then the two of them started tag teaming, earning a few bob here and there. Performing at carnivals and other venues, a career move that allowed Dad to stay out the more serious trouble that had long followed him in prison. Dad had studied law and knew more than most of the solicitors did. People were always coming to our house to seek his legal advice. What he knew about the law and how it could fuck him up, he didn't want to end up behind bars again. He and Uncle Jimmy were booked to do a wrestling shows for 6 weeks at this particular holiday camp. And wouldn't you know it, my mom, Julia, 21, was hired. There was a chef in the restaurant. She was basically homeless at the time, sleeping on friends' couches. She left her family at home because her stepdad had sexually abused her when she was a kid. My goodness. And when she finally told her mom what happened with her stepfather, her mom didn't believe her, so she ran. She felt as if she had no one in her corner. It was that time suicide after a trauma. Man. But then, here comes my dad, big and brawny. Though inside he was a total sweetheart. Over 6 weeks, they fell in love. He was 20 years older than her. And even though he told her a bunch of porkies at the outset, like he drove a Mercedes and had a lot of money, she totally fell for him. And they became inseparable. Well, wait a minute. I didn't know about this. So he was 20 years older than her? Wow. Man. I didn't realize that. Can you imagine if I was 30? No. Let's fast forward off my age in the future. If I was 45, 20 years older than a woman who is 25, hey, is this illegal? I don't know. It's probably illegal. Okay. Dad showed her that there were people in this world who would believe her, starting with him, and that was a big fucking deal to my mom. Though Dad had tried to make himself bigger than what he was when they first met, and my mom found it out pretty quickly that he was not none of the things he claimed. But then she was head over heels, and it didn't matter. At that time, my dad had stopped using hard drugs though, still had the occasional drink. He could see how the drugs were messing up his new girlfriend and suggested they both get and stay sober. She later told me how she came up with my name. She had gone to a Slayer concert in the 80s, and while high on acid, she misheard the band name as Saraya. Hey! She just knew that would be a name of her daughter. If she ever had one, once they got together, they both straightened out the ads to ask her about. They tell you that finding each other and their wrestling business is what saved both of them. He taught her the ins and outs of wrestling. She was a pretty good at it. She worked as a manager for him and Uncle Jimmy. She goes out in the ring and all dove up in a dress and makeup, and then the ringside, when the men wrestled, anytime they had played bad guys, she helped them cheat to win. Soon, she was in the ring herself, running the ropes and doing slingshot catapults. She was known as Sweet Saraya. Hey! Oh, yes! I know which one it was. Sweet Saraya is Saraya's mom. I know she is. She's cool. They married and Zach was born. Dad was still having the odd drink here and there, but at that point, he decided to stop. They both wanted to make a better life for their kids, and they had. I followed along quickly, and then we were a family with our brothers and sisters for Dad's earlier marriage. To say my life was spawned by wrestling would be a massive fucking understatement. Dad watched World Sport on the telly non-stop, old school wrestling from the 70s and 80s we broadcast. That every single weekend we'd be doing shows during the week. we hosted training seminars, and a random assortment of wrestlers was always staying at our house. Mom constantly made wrestling merchandise and posters, and the phone rang off the hook when people wanted to arrange wrestling events. Mm. Though it was the family's business, and you think he might get sick of it. Wrestling was all Daniel ever talked about, his first love. He found himself and feeling of worth in the wrestling world, and absolutely nothing could dim and shine for him. Zach too caught the wrestling bug the minute he popped out the mom's earless. Oh my gosh. He lived, breathed, and shit wrestling. He owned all the wrestling rings and action figures sold at our toy store. Back then, the premier professional wrestling organization, World Wrestling Federation, before it became World Wrestling Entertainment in 2002, man, it all started. We watched Jake the Snake and Stone Cold Steve Austin and Hulk Hogan on TV growing up, and Zach knew every storyline. The bedroom we shared had posters of these wrestlers on his side. He knew the world so inside and out. He could tell the identity of a given wrestler just by the boots he wore. He was walking wrestling encyclopedia. Everyone we knew thought he would be a professional wrestler one day. Man, I gotta be a wrestler one day too. Wait, let's do this. Half of our bedroom was different. I have an animal and music posters, as well as the ones from South Park. Sure, I have a few wrestling posters, a nod to a family dynasty, Scotty Tuhari, and Rikishi, and Leah. But I wasn't all that into it. My bed was featuring Disney Pocahontas, while Zach was always wrestling with it. He was the one of the family destined to go to a part of that world, not me. Part of the reason I shied away from the business was that I was scared for having seen people in my family, particularly my mom, hurt while in the ring. Mom was a great wrestler, but also very injury prone. I never known someone who got hurt as much as she did. There was a period where I was little, at first school, that a wrestling injury blinded her for 6 months. That scared the shit out of me. She's been hitting the head and one eye swelled shut, and then a few days later she lost most of her vision in both eyes. She didn't know if she'd ever see it again. Oh my gosh. Yo, what happened? Yo, did she get hit by a chair or something else? Man. Yo, this is why we gotta watch out for ourselves, because if you hit the head too hard, yo, it's gonna mess up the vision, but most importantly, it's gonna lead to concussion. Like, if somebody try to hit your head, you gotta use the hands to cover it real fast. But if you don't do it in time before the chair hits, you're done. I'm just saying, you gotta protect your head by using your hands before I make contact. Yo, I'm learning, by the way. I'm learning. For those months, Daniel had to cook for us because she couldn't seem to operate the cooker, and in doing so, he nearly killed me. While he made a great cheesy mash, this one day he was making roasted cut up chunks of potatoes. Ooh. You trying to poison the food? I was still pretty small, and he cut the potatoes into pieces too large for a mouthful the size of mine. And yes, I was a dumb dog to put the whole thing in my mouth, but I always been able to eat the roasties. Mom made without an issue. Of course, I choked on it, and he had to perform a hemorrhage maneuver on me. So while he did almost kill me with these roasties, he also did save me. I couldn't wait till Mom was healed enough to cook again. My mom was a badass bitch though. When I was about 12 years old, I haven't started wrestling fully yet. My parents were away a lot, traveling to shows for work, and taking my siblings along too. Since they were already restless, on one particular trip, they went to Isle of Wight, which is a place in England that you had to take a ferry to, so it's quite difficult to get in and out so quickly. I was staying with my friend Nivina and her mom, Sandra, who's a bartender at my parents' pub. We were running around the street as you do at that age. When Nivina and I got into an argument, it was probably over something dumb, and I can't remember what was about now. But it was enough for Nivina to go knock on a woman's door. I don't know how she knew this woman or what her relationship was with her, but her name was Anne. I would guess she was about 40, but looked much older from the very obvious drug condition. Ratty and unwashed long brown hair, facial features sunken and sagging, gaps in her smoke-stained teeth. Navina started making stuff up, saying I was trying to fight her. I wasn't. All of a sudden, Anne comes out and grabs me by the hair and pulls me down to the ground. She starts kicking, punching me, slapping me while having clumps of my hair in her hands, clawing at me like a wild animal. I saw her fight my own way out of gross witchy hands and onto my feet. Man, I don't know what this is all about, but, well, she's trying to fight back with this. She tried to defend herself. Go get mommy. She marked us at me and went for it. I went straight to Navina's house, grabbed the house phone, and called my mom. Mom, this lady just beat me up. I said sorry. I told her everything that just happened. I reminded her I was only 12 years old. I had just got my eyes swept by a rabid crackhead for no reason. My body was covered with bruises and scratches, black and blue. Mom said, stay there, and put down the phone. Sandra, Navina's mom, took care of my wounds. Within a few hours, we get a call from the police station. My mom was arrested. What? Her mom? Wait. How could that be? She was in Isle of Wight working. You had to take the ferry to the mainland, then drive a few hours. But somehow, my mom did that in record time. She had hopped off the phone, walked out the door when she was supposed to perform that night, and went straight to Anne's. While she was knocking on her door, Anne answered by cracking it open just a little bit. The moment she did, Mom's superhero kicked the door in. Oh man. Here's Mommy, she said. So, let's do this one by one. What's the first thing you did to my daughter? Oh yeah, you grabbed her by her hair and dragged her to the ground. So she just did that. What's next? Oh yeah, you started punching and kicking her like this, and then she did that too. She threw that little crackhead around and shift her out of home, put her through tables and cabinets. She picked her up and pinned her against the wall, pulled a knife from her sock, and then proceeded to push it into a nose and say, I dare you sneeze, bitch. Ooh. Oh man, it's gonna be shocking. Anne scrambled from the phone in her pocket, which had the police on speed dial. She clicked the number and put the phone on her ear. All the while, Mom still had the knife on her nose. My mom grabbed her phone and said, you better come here quick before we hurt her. She threw Anne and her phone to the ground, walked out, and sat on the curb outside Anne's flat waiting for the police to come. She had shoved the knife back in her sock, accidentally stabbing herself. Ugh. Oh man, that's the first mistake that she did. So then she had started bleeding too. We laugh about that part now. The police then came, and both women were taken to the station. After a couple of hours, they were released. My mom got away with a slap on the wrist because of what Anne did to me, and Anne got away with it too. Turns out, we learned she was an informant for the police, which is fucked up, right? How is she allowed to get beat up a child and get away with it just because she stooges on the other crackheads? Whatever. Man, that's messed up. My justice already served because my mom beat the living fuck out of her and continued to harass her every time she saw her in the streets. She would scream, "I can smell a fucking rat," and had told everyone Anne was the informant. And now she would start trusting around the area. She ended up disappearing somewhere, and we stopped seeing her around. Thank God. I went to school and told everyone that story. God, my mom was cool. There have been so many times in my life where she was insanely protective, but that one always sticks out. Because how the fuck did she get there so quickly? My badass mother. Ladies and gents, my hero, Mom. I love you so much, and I'll never forget that day. Wrestling was different, though. I hated when she would get hurt in the ring. All I could think was, why do you keep doing this? You're constantly hurt. Dad was injured a lot too, but nothing like Mom. Why would I want to do something like that if it was getting their bruised and mangled all the time? It just didn't make sense. And since everyone was sure Zach was going to be a family superstar, I was excused for a calling. Sure, my stubbornness played a role as well. If the family thought I would be a good wrestler, of course, I wanted nothing to do with it. Wherever possible, I wanted to not to make the rest of them. I wanted to be unique. Besides, I love animals so much and watch animal play all the time. Just wanted to get to be a zoologist or vet. That said, growing up as I did, I had no choice but to learn a few wrestling moves. While I was just barely able to walk, my big brother Roy would put his hands, palms out, in front of my face and tell me to him. It was his version of self-defense training. Come on, Raya, you got more than that in you. He taught until I whacked him. It's a good power behind the head. Good job. Again, I hit his palm. I barely able to stand on my own 2 feet. And he moved his hands about teaching me to be agile and quick. Hit here, and here, and here. He said the targets I need to be followed, moving like blurry images, like a kaleidoscope. Yeah, I moved out so quick. He praised me afterward. I love it. Zach taught me the basic wrestling moves. As I got a bit older, how to tuck my chin, how to take a fall, how to flip them, execute spots, choreographical series of moves. It was the only way of playing. It might be serious stuff for Zach, but to me, it was just fun. Oh, I got 2 more pages left. My brothers always look out for me. Once, while I was in middle school, I wanted to get a haircut, along with those short, choppy emo layers on top of that were popular at the time. I was dying for a professional haircut like the other girls in my school. For the first time, I was figuring out what I wanted to look like. More alternative, more like myself. Instead of just wearing my brother's old hand-me-downs, up until then, I had mostly dressed like a tomboy. I had tucked away some money from my Uncle Stanley and coins that I found in the couch cushions or on the pub floor. Even if I had the money sooner, I would have gone. Before that, I would probably have had like that would be a fucking nightmare. I was worried they would see it lights and tell me to get the fuck out of here. But once, Mama and I got a situation under control. Using skinny little combs and shampooing the shit out of me with ice, stinging chemicals. The first thing I wanted to do is get that haircut. To that point, mom had always cut and colored my hair. Even when I was really small, she was always experimenting with my look. She once dyed my hair blonde, and though I was tiny, people thought I would look like a young Britney Spears. Dad called me Britney after that. Oh, I remember. Yo, I think she started at her young age as a blonde one. I think she called herself Britney wait uh Britney Saraya, or was it it's gotta be Britney Jade or Britney Saraya, but it's gotta be one of them. I just remember her name, but she started at her young age. And I remember she fought her mother one on one. So I watched that video before, so I probably gonna react to it as soon as possible. My parents let me walk into a salon up on my own. A stone throw away from the house. I explained my vision to a hairstylist and show her a photo I printed out. Nervous but excited to become a new, cooler version of myself. She went straight in, chopping one side of her shoulder immediately. I started sweating all over. Things were going sideways fast, but I was too anxious to say anything. More and more hair laying on my lap and then on the floor around me. I could hear my dad's warning echoing in my mind. Just don't cut it too short. Fuck! I don't know if I explained why I was well enough to a stylist, or she wasn't familiar with the newest emo hair trends. Whatever. The wishes should we bought the job and I looked awful? The cut was way too short and boyish. I looked like Lord Farquhar, straight out of Shrek. And I had expected to walk out of the saloon feeling like a badass. Instead, I watched out to my tail between my legs, looking like I lost in a fight of pair of clippers. Man, I need some water. I'm gonna need to take a break. Hey, you made it a checkpoint. If you made it this far, hit the like button. Hey, not too much. And where do you guys think you're going? Join the action this October 18th for an epic weekend for content creators, cosplay, gaming, and unforgettable moments. Join on TwitchCon. The link is in the description. Scan the QR code for more. Also, grab the exclusive merch today. T-shirts, mugs, cups, you name it. It's all in one place at fourthwall.com. The link is also in the description. So what are you waiting for? Go do it now. I walk home, catch a glimpse of myself in the shop windows. I pass the chemist, the butcher, the chippy, feeling myself shrink more each time I saw my reflection. It looked ridiculous. Dario, who is very much into the traditional standards of female beauty, was going to be pissed. It's funny. He thinks women should have long natural hair and he hates tattoos. And yet, he made my mom, who was her hair dyed tomato red, her skin covered in tomatoes. Oh, that's what sweet Soraya's hair looked like. He always say that a woman should look a certain way, and my mom was just do the complete opposite, which I love, and secretly my dad did too. Sure did. The minute I walked in the door, Dad sucked in his breath and excited me. What have you done? He teased. Wait until your brother sees this. Don't tell Roy. I was in tears mad at my dad's reaction was exactly as embarrassing as I imagined all the way home. Roy was like my second father, and it was bad enough that Daddy thought my haircut was awful. I had to hide it from Roy for the next few months until it grew out. Thankfully, he lived 7 miles away, so he wouldn't be too hard. I ran to my room, mortified. Meanwhile, Dad was downstairs on his antique rotary phone for my brother. He called me back downstairs so Roy could have returned, giving me a hard time over his phone. Where? I was so disappointed. He wasn't serious, but I was so upset I couldn't tell. A few hours later, Will was at the front door, having walked the 7 miles to see me. When he got a good look at me, his whole body deflated. Why do you cut all your long hair off? I couldn't come up with those words to answer him. I was too humiliated. He tried to put a stern face but failed. He wrapped his big arms around me. I think it looks good, he said. I realized he had just given me a hard time over the phone. He had walked all the way just to make me feel better about myself, and I did. Especially when I realized he still had a 7-mile walk to get back home. He thought all that because he adored me. That's the kind of family I have. They would never judge me for something stupid like a haircut. I was 13 when my thoughts about the wrestling world changed. We were at that match and had just finished setting up the ring for a nice event. My part of the work was done for the next few hours until it was time to take it all down. Warren would be wrestling that night. That's with Mom, Dad, and Zach. And I'd be screaming my head off for each and every one of them, but I saw. But also did wrestle at my side. That is, until Daniel pulled me aside. Well, we have a bit of a jam, and I need your help to help out. Zach and Mom crowded around me. There's a problem, and Sarah can't make it tonight. Sarah was one of the female wrestlers in the game Dad toured with. She was to be featured in a 6-woman tag. I need you to go in and sub for her, okay? What? I'm not a wrestler. Just for tonight. Can you cover up for us? You don't have to continue, but you know enough. We'll pay you with Zach. It'll be just like messing around in training camps at home. How am I supposed to wrestle with Zach if it's a woman's event? He's always in that match, dressed like a girl. It'll be great, Daniel said. So excuse me. That came out of nowhere. I don't have any wrestling gear. We'll figure out something. They pulled together a pair of my mom's beaten up old boots that had holes in them. They were pretty awful, but the best we could do. I was wearing baggy black pants and just added on the mom's old wrestling t-shirts. Meanwhile, they got Zach dressed up like a paid Power Ranger with the mask, had a paddle bar, and we were good to go. Oh man. I love when you cosplay. Fine, I'll do this thing. Just one time to help my family out, and that'll be it. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of the announcer, Michael Mann, echoed over a PA system. He's been the announcer for my dad since the beginning. I call him Eyebrows because he had these fake bushy eyebrows that stuck out. Give it up for the amazing, incomparable Britani Knight. Yo, I was wow. I said Britani Saraya, and now I'm glad the book tells a story because Britani Knight. How could I miss it? Yo, it was in my head. I can't even dig through the dictionary right there, and yo, I think I gotta remember that name, Britani Knight. Man, that's crazy. How do I never think about this? Oh yeah, and she made her debut on I think it's age 13. I think it's age 13. Well, I gotta remember that. Just before that moment, we have a quick discussion about what my name would be. But ever since the blonde dye job, Daniel has called me Brittany, but we changed the spelling to make it an anagram of Britain. Our family ring name, the Knights, was so fabricated. In the wrestling world, people took our stage names. Dad had chosen Knight in homage of our favorite musician, Gladys Knight. Upon hearing my name announced, my stomach hurt and I felt like I was going to throw up. I was so nervous and terrified. To this day, that still occurs. I always feel like I'm going to need to go to the bathroom beforehand, but it all changes the moment I step into the ring, and that's what happened. Even his first time, despite the fact that the crowd was minuscule and the cheers a little anemic, I was hooked. The adrenaline rush was amazing. I could feel the energy and excitement of every single person in the audience cheering for me as I grabbed with Zach, who laughed like a maniac as I tossed him the PayPal Ranger around the ring. He and I joked at each other. It was no different from what we did for fun. Only now people are hooting and hollering and appreciating our moves. Now I get it. Finally, this is why my mom changed injuries, why Zach trained and lifted weights constantly, why Roy had me hit his head as a kid, why Daniel spoke a little other than wrestling. There was no feeling like it, and maybe it hit even harder because I wasn't expected to rush. It took me off guard in the best possible way. Whatever this amazing, joyous feeling was, I knew one thing for sure. I wanted more of it. Man, that was an amazing chapter. That was an amazing chapter. Yo, I think I figured it out. So, Zach, Roy, Saraya's mom and dad trained Saraya to wrestle. Cause not only that they changed her looks, they do a little training. They have a tell the difference between was injured and not injured and stuff. Wow, they taught her well. Man, not only fighting with my family told the story, but this book tells the story as well. I love that chapter. And I mentioned something about the name Britani Knight, because the reason I didn't think about Knight right there, because I remember the first video that I saw, Britani Knight and Sweet Saraya fought each other in the match. So I'm going to react to this video right there, and I'm going to make sure. I'm gonna react to this video. I don't know, but I had to react to this because it's like a family wrestling, so it's gotta be important. Because even though her brother Warren traveled 7 miles just to see her, because he very disappointed that she cut her own hair, but he's very proud of her how she looks. So I think that's the main reason that she wanted the look. So she didn't want to get humiliated by her family and stuff. So I gotta read more, but I promise. But there's gonna be a lot of answers, but I can't answer that much. But I have to do so. Anyways, guys, if you enjoy this read along, thank you so much for tuning in. And please make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe, tap the bell, turn on notifications so you can all can pick up where I left off. And also get this book at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or wherever books are sold. You gotta read this because it's very important. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the road. Peace.